Hi there, welcome to Tomato Junkie's Kitchen, also known as Sarah's Kitchen. And sorry, I've been a little bit away for the last few days, just been kind of busy. I wanted to cover some kind of like miscellaneous topics with this video, but I want to ask again for feedback from you all and anything that you'd like to see me discuss or show you. One viewer did say she wanted to know about turkey, so I directed her to my video that I had done about turkey. Speaking of that, I saw a Pioneer Woman repeat today where she roasted, it didn't even look like it was really about a 20-pound turkey, but she roasted that thing for about 5.5 hours after it had already come to room temperature. And I'm telling you, unless you're roasting at a very low temperature, something less than 300 degrees, that is too long to roast a turkey. You are going to have an overcooked one. And as I mentioned in the previous video about turkeys, it's okay for the thigh area to kind of look pink, and it will still come up to temperature. It's just that the thigh area of the bird it has more circulation to it. It's more used by the bird, for the walking and all of that. So in general, it's just going to look that way. And a lot of people think, okay, if that area looks pink, then my turkey's not done. You have to rely on the temperature, and that's why the instant read thermometer is so important. You can still use the traditional meat thermometer, but I think the instant reads are much better, and I think you'll get a much better result out of those too. So I just want to mention those things about turkey. Like I said, 5.5 hours for a bird that's not even 20 pounds. I mean, I can remember when I was growing up, people would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and start that thing and cook it for 8 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous. Think about how long you would you would cook a 5-pound chicken, like a roasting chicken, and then multiply that. I mean, it doesn't take that long, and that's why people are overcooking these turkeys. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. And I do believe I mentioned it in one of my beginning videos, but one of the kitchen tools that I really, really love that I have, and it's inexpensive, is what's called a salad spinner. And I don't know if you've ever seen one before, but it kind of is sort of like the spin tub of a washer. You put whatever you've got in there, and then you wash it, you drain it, and then you use this thing. It kind of and you can see it, it turns that little colander insert around fast, and it gets all the water off. For salad greens, it's great because you get your salad greens dry after you've washed them. Another great use for it is fruit. When you wash fruit, you can spin it in there and get all the water off of it, and then that helps it last longer in the refrigerator or wherever. So it's a really handy tool. It's inexpensive. You can find them all over the place. It's just kind of like the spin cycle on a washing machine. And you can wash many different things in it, like herbs. It's just really a great tool to have. One of the other things I wanted to mention, and this is really important for everyday cooking, but it's also important for holiday cooking, is something called mise en place, which is this fancy French term for getting all your stuff in place before you start cooking. And one of the types of cooking where that's very, very important is stir fry. If you don't have all of your stuff chopped up, sliced up, whatever it's going to be, if you don't have that done before you start that stir fry, you're going to be in trouble, because stir fries are fast. And if you've ever seen one done, which I'm sure most everybody has, if you want to do that at home, you have got to get that stuff all prepped. So I wanted to show you, this is what's called a ramekin, okay? And it's also used for small custards, like say a creme brulee. But right now I've got garlic in there. Did I chop too much garlic for tonight? Tonight is spaghetti and meatballs and cream spinach here in our house. And I know that seems like a weird combo, but I've been wanting to make cream spinach for some reason. So we're having spaghetti and meatballs. And so I had to do enough garlic for the spaghetti sauce and then also to put in the meatballs. And I'm sure I'll have some left over, but I find chopping that kind of thing, it's satisfying to me, and I like doing it. And I know some of you are going to be like, "Oh, that's crazy," but it's just because I'm somebody that enjoys cooking and enjoys doing all that stuff. Here is another type of little dish that you can get, and in this one I have chopped Italian parsley. Parsley is not just for looks. It's not just to make something look pretty. It really adds flavor and texture to a lot of things. This will be going into my meatballs, okay? And I will put the recipe for my meatballs in the comments section in case any of you are interested in it. And again, here's one where I've got my onions. I'm not sure, the lighting is not so great, but I've got my onions ready to go, and that's going to be for the spinach. And I will also put a little bit of garlic in that cream spinach. So the other thing that I wanted to show you, for those of you that's never seen it or have never seen it, this is a whole nutmeg. The outer coating of a nutmeg is what's called mace. So if you have any recipes that call for mace, that's where it comes from. It's the outside of the nutmeg itself. This is fabulous in like the cream spinach. It's also fabulous in pies, and you can use your microplane to grate it fresh. And when you grate it fresh, it's fantastic. I mean, it's so much different. It's so much more fragrant, and you get so much more out of it. It's also used sometimes in a bechamel sauce, which again, fancy French term for a sauce that's based on butter, flour, and milk, which is the basis for a lot of things like macaroni and cheese. There's a ton of different things that bechamels are used for, but people put nutmeg in that as well. And anyway, I just wanted to alert you to that it's wonderful in pies, like your pumpkin pie or any pie that you're making that calls for nutmeg. And again, like I put a little bit in a peach pie in the summer, and it really kind of elevates it too. So I want to ask you again to please give me some feedback, and please give me some questions, because I really want this whole video blogging that I'm doing to be helpful to you, where I can share with you things that I've learned over many years, and trial and error and that type of thing. And I also in the comments I'll show you a photo of the finished meatballs tonight and the cream spinach, just in case you're interested. So anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate your views and your shares. This week I also plan on making some salmon and a pork roast, and I'm hoping that I can get a video on that for you, on showing you how easy it is to cook both of those things, and that fish doesn't have to be intimidating, and it cooks super fast, and your family can really enjoy it. So take care, and I'll see you soon.